This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Wednesday, July 16th. If you've gotten a little tired of rain, well, you will appreciate the forecast for the next few days. Sunshine and clear skies are on the way today, with a high topping out at 94, which is slightly below average for this time of year. The temp will steadily climb into the upper 90s by the end of the week, with a chance for DFW's first 100-degree day of the year over the weekend. The low will be in the mid to upper 70s the rest of the week. Here are today's headlines. The field of contenders to lead the Fort Worth Police Department as its next chief has been narrowed to 4 finalists. The finalists are Robert Alldredge, the interim chief of the Fort Worth Police Department; Eddie García, assistant city manager in Austin who retired as Dallas police chief last fall; Vernon Hale, a former Dallas deputy chief who now works as an assistant chief in Prince George's County, Maryland; and Emada Tingirides, a deputy chief with the Los Angeles Police Department. The announcement of the finalists signals the end of Fort Worth's search, and for Garcia, hints at a possible return to North Texas less than a year after he left Dallas, despite the city's efforts to keep him. The Fort Worth chief position has been open since the former chief, Neil Noakes, retired in May after more than 4 years. Garcia helmed the Dallas Police Department from February 2021 to last October, when he retired to take on the assistant city manager position in Austin, where he oversees the city's public safety agencies. In other news, the Trump administration's decision to freeze billions of dollars in education funding will leave Dallas schools with a $22 million gap. That money covers roughly 150 staff positions, DISD Superintendent Stephanie Elizalde said Tuesday at a meeting with the Dallas Morning News editorial board. Elizalde said she does not think the cuts will trigger a crisis in Dallas this year. She expects to use money from the district's general operating budget to protect the impacted staff positions, which she said are vital. Elizalde said, "Right in this moment, we're going to be okay. But what happens over time? What happens if more federal dollars don't come that were already allocated but are not being distributed? That becomes more of an issue." The Trump administration announced plans earlier this month to withhold more than $6 billion in federal grants for after-school and summer programs, English language instruction, adult literacy, and more as part of a review to ensure grants align with President Donald Trump's priorities. Without that money, some school officials across the country said they would not be able to provide free or affordable after-school care for low-income kids, and they may not be able to hire staff to teach children who are learning English. Elizalde instead instituted a freeze on non-essential hiring for central administration roles. Next up, President Trump on Tuesday described Texas as the centerpiece in a plan to add Republican U.S. House seats by redrawing congressional boundaries in multiple states. Wringing 5 more Republican congressional seats from Texas would be a significant help to the party as it tries to preserve its razor-thin House majority. The aggressive play also runs a risk of backfiring by putting Lone Star Republican incumbents in a vulnerable position. Governor Greg Abbott placed redistricting on a lengthy agenda for a special legislative session that begins Monday. Rumors about potential boundary lines have been swirling, but no official map proposals have been released. Outside of a few swing seats in South Texas, the state's congressional districts are largely drawn in a way that protects incumbents, with most districts deep red or blue. Republicans have a 25-12 edge in the delegation. One Houston area seat that leans toward the Democrats has been open since U.S. Representative Sylvester Turner died earlier this year. And 3 quiet pools of water tucked between highways and neighborhoods along the Trinity River will now honor Dallas's Native American history. In a landmark act of cultural restoration, the Dallas City Council unanimously agreed last month to name these lakes with native terms proposed by a grassroots intertribal committee. The 3 lakes will be referred to as the Three Sisters Lakes. Each one is also named individually: Comanche Numanami Lake, Lapanapachi Imbati Lake, and Wichita Idotsi Lake. Each of the names in each tribal language means sister in some form. The committee, composed of local Native leaders and representatives from several tribal nations, worked to ensure the names reflect the region's deep Native history and spiritual connection to water. The lakes are in West Dallas, a neighborhood with a layered history of Native American relocation. In the mid-20th century, federal policies moved Native families from reservations to urban centers in a push toward assimilation. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow morning with more from the Dallas Morning News.